Happy
How's it going? Happy Tuesday.
Feliz martes.
Sí. I'm going to fix my bra here. It's falling. Go on, take it away.
How's everyone's night going? ¿Qué andan haciendo pues? So, we will be continuing with our Spooktober True Creepy Stories.
But first thing I want to mention, though, is I want to say, what was I going to say? About, like, not congratulations. What do you say, Emily? Like,
well,
I'm glad to hear about that horrible story. The little girl, the 9-year-old girl.
The Charlotte Senna child abduction.
In case you're not aware, in case you haven't been following it, over the weekend she went on a bike ride on a trail.
Hi,
and she went missing.
Hello, you two beautiful ladies. Thank you so
much.
Thank
you. How's it going? So I'm very glad that the little girl, thank God that the little girl is back home.
Yes.
Horrible what's going on. We just did a video about it
on
TikTok because there's a lot of controversy. Again, this goes into what we were talking about last night as far as GoFundMes. So the little girl, she's 9 years old. She went missing on a bike trail
in New York.
She was found in a trailer home.
His trailer.
Some man. Hey, Yvette, how's it going?
Hi.
A trailer house of some man. He had her like hidden in a cabinet.
Yeah, she was covered in a blanket.
He requested for a ransom.
Something like that, yeah.
But now her aunt is making a GoFundMe.
And the goal is 5,000.
Yes, it's very little, it's very doable. And people are getting all crazy on TikTok. And so we did a stitch on it. So we're going to start tonight with that tonight. In case you're not aware of the story. I don't understand that. Again, going back to Edgar, our friend
Edgar Ramos on
also
here.
has a GoFundMe.
Yeah.
I don't understand why people are so quick to send money and donate money for the dead. Okay, that's just my opinion about it. I understand tragedies can happen. I understand that. However, in my opinion is aren't people supposed to have something sweet?
Well, even if it's a sudden death, right? Because a lot of people are arguing
that's what I'm saying.
However, I just feel like, why, they donate so quickly to the dead people, everyone. Fancy funerals, shirts, things like that.
Right.
Why not celebrate them when they're alive? Donate money to them when they're alive and they need that help because they're missing work for whatever reason.
Yes.
Already in the process of being sick, terminally ill, or whatever. Stuff like that, and then just right away with the funerals, we're not.
So again,
what do you say?
Let's go back.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the little girl. So people are getting rubbed the wrong way. Hey, their life has just been changed.
Oh yes.
Okay. And again, we use if you want to go to the TikTok, we've been on the TikTok. But again, it's just like our life changed when my son had his first seizure. We're supposed to go and be normal, right? Like nothing happened. You're supposed to go about your day. But it was very hard for me. I was in shock. I stayed in shock for many weeks, many months, and even now, although he's on a medication and he's treated, he's controlled. Anything, it just boom, it throws you back into
work
that.
schedules. Yes. Different things had happened.
So I hope that this family is able to get that money, and I don't know how you guys feel about that. What are your guys' thoughts on the GoFundMe? Again, I don't want to sound heartless or anything like that or cold-hearted. It's always been an curiosity of mine though. Like, why are people so quick to do it? Like, for example, us, when our dad passed, we knew he was going to pass because
he was on hospice.
He chose not to take care of his diabetes and stuff like that.
We had money saved,
right?
We chose to do the cremation.
He wanted to be cremated.
He didn't want no burial or
But then other people got involved, and we didn't have the say, and now we're going into something else.
Right, and so some family, they just paid the $1,000, which was the cost for the cremation.
And whatever it costs to bury.
And again, they made a big deal saying, oh, we're just, oh my gosh, we helped your dad, cremate him and this and that for $1,000, right? Because they wanted to do it out of their
They wanted to bury
hearts,
the cremation.
But they wanted to do it out of their hearts, but then they were there cobrándonos like, shoving it in our face, like, oh, we paid for your dad's cremation, but stuff like that. So it's not like we have holding a grudge towards those types of situations where people donate to GoFundMes for funerals and all that. But no,
But I just don't understand why us people as a community, why don't we celebrate the living?
Yes.
Why don't we celebrate the living? And also, I have seen GoFundMes be successful for to me, in my opinion, stupid shit. Oh, because my kid needs a scooter.
A new pair of shoes.
A PS5.
Disneyland tickets. Taylor
Yeah.
Swift concert tickets.
Yes, I've seen them all. And so that's just my curiosity.
Just our opinion. I know it's a very sensitive, topic. And I know a lot of people already in our comments telling us, like, over there on TikTok, like, oh yeah, well, how could you say that about the dead and things happening? I understand. However, pero done real quick to like raise 100,000 or 50,000. Why not help those who actually like need it because they're missing work and
Yes.
gas money or caretakers, things like that.
And that's again where
yeah.
I get rubbed the wrong way.
Also,
where
people
people want to
also-
ask all these questions.
Yes. Again, like your dad, right? The sick leave, or what is that called? Where they're out of those days.
Yes, sick leave.
Yeah, the same thing like that with certain things. That's why people, create GoFundMe and all that.
So if you guys are still on there, if you're still watching, what do you guys think about that? Do you have to see a reason, or do you guys donate, or do you guys not donate? You guys just, because I've met a lot of people who are just like, no, I mean, it's a terrible thing.
They want a whole
prayers,
list of why.
Or they're like, prayers, but it's not something in me, it's not something I do. And I respect that. If that's not what you do, that's fine. But what I would like to know, if you're still watching and if you're still interested in this topic, what are reasons why you would donate? Like, for example, I'm going to go back to our friend Edgar, because this is coming up. It's coming up on the 16th, and that's 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks
He's
away.
having open heart surgery.
He's going to have open heart surgery. And I don't really know him. We've never met him or anything like that. However, he's been supportive to our channel. So and plus I know what that's like to be in the hospital, and you don't know especially if you can't go back to work right away.
Yeah.
Your sick leave runs out, and then your rent, the bills never stop. That's what's terrible about it. And so I really think that goal is very doable. It's only $3,000. And it's just like the little girl that just got returned. Their goal is only $5,000. That's very doable. So I'm hoping that these will be successful. But I do have that curiosity. I would like to touch topic. If anybody out there listening, what do you guys agree on that? What are your thoughts?
I mean, what's the
about it?
difference
There's
when
no right or wrong
what's the
answer.
difference when you donate to a church after service or school fundraisers, all that stuff. Panhandlers, no matter what it is. I guess it's just what you feel in your heart and what you would like to contribute to.
And I know people, and
Piece of
I've
food.
donated before to a lot of people. If I have it, I donate it. Whatever I can do to help. If I don't, I agree. That's
Yes.
great. And that's why I always wonder, because I know that there's people that do this, people that don't. But I always wonder, what am I asking here? Like, what do you guys think? How do you think we could help people who don't donate? Who just, it's never going to come out of them, and you got to kind of, I wouldn't say convince them, because you're not going to change people, but what's something that we can tell those people that are like, I work hard for my money, it's mine. Remember,
You're not
when
gonna when you
take it
die,
with
you're not
you.
gonna take that with you.
Yes.
You're not gonna take your bank account with you.
And why am I talking
clothes.
about this? Because again,
Mhm.
Jesus Christ is trending on
Yes.
TikTok, social media. We were talking about
Yes, we
that.
did.
And this whole people, good and bad kind of type scenarios where people are trying to I almost feel like people are trying to prove themselves that they're good, and they want to show all the good that they do, or
Yeah, they post that they're donating food or
Yes.
doing that. What is it? Groceries for a day from 11 to 1 type of stuff.
outreach.
Yes, outreach. What else? Things like that. So they want to prove themselves.
I feel like
correct?
that. Maybe I'm wrong for thinking that way, but that's why I wonder. I'm like, okay,
Even sharing someone's post is helpful.
Yeah.
But some people, yeah. And then again, there's what people are calling it also clout chasing. If you are sharing someone how we did the GoFundMe for Edgar.
Okay.
Some people do call things like that, clout chaser, because you guys are trying to gain a following and whatnot. That's
Not
how people
even.
take it also with
I
social
know
media.
some people do, but I don't. What
no.
does that do for us?
Doesn't.
Yeah, it
We don't
do
benefit
anything.
from sharing people's GoFundMes. I know we've never had any luck whenever
We didn't
we've been
have
in
luck, no.
situations and we've asked for donations or tragedies that have happened, but we don't hold that against anyone.
No.
And that's what I mean, having God in your life. That when you
Yes.
have God, Jesus Christ in your life, you don't feel like that towards shit.
Yeah,
Where
you don't.
tienes ese coraje, you're not pissed
That
off and you hate
resentment,
the
that
world, you hate the
resentment, yes.
people because of you.
No one did it for me.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I admit I've thought like that before, correct?
Yeah.
But again, by having the Lord in your life, that's what I mean. It's here. You don't.
When you
hold
truly
things, right?
give yourself to the Lord,
Yeah.
truly, when you truly can say, I'm going to leave it to God, and truly in your heart believe that. And now we're preaching and shit, but you know what? There's
No,
just things that need to be talked about. I
Yeah.
feel like it's time. There's a time for everything, and this is the conversation we need to have today. So I would like to hear you guys' thoughts on it, though. If you're there, what are your thoughts on that? It's just these are just things that I've been seeing, though, right? I like the other one I saw too. That was another one that I saw on the TikTok was the little old man.
Oh,
The
yes.
little old man that did the time.
El Jefe. I don't know what his real
I don't
name
know if you
is.
guys
or
follow
what his
TikTok.
TikTok name is. It El Jefe?
El hombre mejor hombre. El mejor
Something
hombre.
like
That's his
that.
name. El mejor hombre. So this little old man on.
He's in his 80s.
Yeah, on TikTok, and I don't know what affiliation he was from or anything like that. I don't even know if he was from
I think
an
he's from
affiliation.
Texas.
But I don't know if he's I don't know if he's a gangster
I
or
don't
anything
know.
like that.
I don't think so.
The power of prayer is great, and I believe it works. I do too. I do believe that. However, you got to be careful when people tell you, I'm going to pray for you. You got to be careful, and you need to ask questions. What do you pray to? Because we've had some very interesting Spooktober stories.
Yes.
So okay, that's a spooky story. We're gonna go into that.
So now we're gonna transition into some Spooktober stories.
But they're still related to
yes,
what
and it's
we're
related to
talking
the
about.
beginning of this video. If you'd like to rewind,
Yes.
if you're just coming in.
Yes. Oh, can you do that? It
Well,
lets you
yeah,
do that?
because it's alive. You
Oh,
just
let's do that?
replay
I
the.
didn't know that.
What do you mean?
I don't
When
need
the
to
live.
rewind it live. Or-
Well, no, not while it's live. When it's uploaded.
Oh, I thought you meant while it's live.
No.
Okay. So anyways, so Spooktober, right? So again, we've told you guys, right? We were homeless after my son started having seizures, and all the money we had saved, everything you could think of, we used it because we didn't want to be homeless. We had to pay this, we had to pay that. Bills never stop. Okay, we tried to do a GoFundMe. I had people tell me like, well, why would you have kids with a druggie? Why didn't you close your leg? Anything you can think. Why didn't you get an abortion? All this horrible stuff was like, that's not gonna do me any good now. The kid is here now. He's having issues. I can't go back to work.
Can't send him back.
Right. So we used all of our resources, everything, and I'm talking like $20,000 worth of savings that it just went in a
Well,
matter.
I don't think that's a lot of money, right? But
Yeah,
it's really not.
when you're homeless. So anyways, so we lost everything. House, credit, everything, okay? So we were homeless. We were living in our car again, like I told you guys. We had a shower in the park because there were so many of us. Our own like so-called friends and family were like, sorry, I can't help you. And a lot of them were happy. Like, that's what you get for thinking you're Miss Independent. That's for this, whatever. Okay. So we meet people. We get introduced to new people.
Person I know.
Oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Tim.
Thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Yes, I appreciate it. That's very kind. And so we started meeting different people, right? And you go to these outreach places. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, like these pantries and stuff, and they're like, oh, see so and so because they have a church, or so and so because they're connected to these people, or whatever, right? So I go to these people, and I start meeting a lot of people, and I didn't know. I just didn't know. I never asked. I just assume when people say they're a believer, that they're a believer in Jesus Christ. Okay.
Yes.
So we met this couple, very well off couple, and during that time, I don't know if we've talked about it, where my daughter, she got chosen to go to Japan as an exchange student with her class in school. But we had to pay. We had to come up with that money. We had to come up with the money, and they had to go to these classes. She had to learn Japanese.
Hey, it's a one life opportunity.
Yeah.
Not all
So
students get to go.
we grinded as hard as we could, and we're selling like little stupid fortunes.
That
on
was
the
her
street.
dream. That was her goal.
That was her goal.
Her dream. So why were we gonna
Yes, why
stop
we're
that
gonna
just
shatter
because
it
we were
because
in that
we fell in
situation?
hard times, but it wasn't her fault.
Even though it did spill and it just seemed like it'd be impossible because of the money,
So we
right?
got the money, we got it together. She got to go to Japan. It was great. And then we connected with the people whose kids got to go to Japan. So we met this couple, and they were talking about she's a believer, and she invited us. Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Big Chungs.
Just send my regards. I've been real busy. Hey, that's okay. Thank you so much for checking
Yeah,
in.
thank you.
Big
We really
Chunks.
appreciate it.
And so anyways, so she invited us to lunch, right? And she like gave us this like, it was different food. It was different.
Yeah,
It was good
yes.
though. And it was kind of funny because then she started going into her beliefs, and I just assumed that everyone, when they say they're a believer in Jesus Christ. So she starts telling us that she's an atheist. She's an atheist, and they don't believe in faith or things happen for a reason.
Hearing
It's
that
just
growing
like,
up, I was just like, oh
so
my
I was kind
gosh.
of freaked out, right? Because this whole time that we had met, because we had to go to these meetings every week before the kids went to Japan.
These are well-educated people.
Yes.
Okay? My ignorance is like,
okay?
what?
Right? You're talking like 6-figure, 7-figure people, right? And so, as ignorant as that sounds, right? But whatever, it's different, very different from my pay grade at the time. So anyways, so she starts telling us all that stuff, right? She's like telling us that she's an atheist. So then I started feeling kind of freaked out because this whole time, how we had to meet every week and stuff and get to know each other, she'd be like, I'm going to pray for you girls. Because, people caught on real quick, like, hey, this is kind of weird. You guys don't just drop off the kid and leave. Like, you stay, kind of hang around.
Yeah.
And, like, so some people caught on to it. And, as embarrassing as it was, I felt like, fine, yeah, they should know. Some people should know, not everyone. So anyways, so that's what happened. And they were atheists and they didn't believe in all that stuff. And it was kind of creepy.
But then we didn't really question, right?
I didn't question it, but then after it kind of freaked me out because she kept saying she was going to pray for us. And I didn't know now. Then after that, I'm like, well, what do you pray to then? If you don't believe in God, if you don't believe that these things happen, then where is this prayer going? And what are you asking for us?
Yeah, because it's like we don't believe in what you believe
Right.
in. So I'm not part of that pact or whatever.
No, right. So So we experienced a very interesting thing.
And that's something that really stayed with us because another woman that was part of like that same type of what would you say group that
Yeah, circle.
yeah, she did mention that she's like
because you got to remember, these are very smart kids. I'm very grateful and very proud. My daughter's very smart. She's very different than us. She's total opposite of us.
again we're sisters.
Yes,
I help her with all her
very
kids.
different. And so I'm very proud of my kids. They're all very different from the way we grew up and stuff.
Very
We
different.
worked very hard to try to
Different.
to raise them very different
Yes.
from the way we were raised, despite all adversity and all that stuff. So, anyways, go on with the lady.
So that lady was like, whoa, what are you talking about? Oh, what do you mean people are praying for you? Tell me, who are they? Okay, be careful when people say that.
Because she was also an atheist.
She was like what? Oh, but anyways, all respect to
Yes,
what
whatever
you
you
believe
believe,
in.
yes.
That's just,
I'm
I'm
not gonna
not
sit-
going
right,
that
right.
way. But yeah, I respect, right? So yeah, she's like, so be careful with that. Pay attention because, so I don't want no one. Oh, wait, what you doing? What about it? All right, so we're like,
Hey, girl, fight.
what happened? Oh, so
careful.
anyway, she said, yeah, be careful with when people tell you that because you don't know what they're praying to. I mean, what the heck? Like, you
Yeah.
just don't know. Are they praying bad energy, bad things for you to to continue happening, or what? So I'm like, oh, I didn't think of that. I'm like, wait, what? And then that's when we really like.
So it really opened her eyes with that, and that was when it was spooky. Where that's why now when I hear that, when I hear people like they're having a debate or anything like that, and they're
Sometimes
like,
it's very
I'm gonna
passive
pray for you.
aggressive.
I'm like, no, keep your prayers to yourself.
Hey, and sometimes if you get that bad feeling from someone, que te diga, whatever, you don't like the way it sounds. Just whether you agreed or not agreed, and it's usually when it's a debate.
Yes,
God bless you, and they stop the conversation because they're wishing bad shit on you.
Yeah, they
That's
are.
what I'm
They
saying.
are.
I mean, that's.
I mean, it's just our
or I'm gonna
experience.
pray for you. You need prayers because I'm gonna pray for you, and it's like shut the fuck up. So people like that you feel like that just doesn't feel right or whatever, just fucking rebuke it.
Yeah, rebuke
like, oh,
it.
fuck you and your prayer, bitch, because I don't know what you're saying to me.
You
about
don't
it.
know what they're praying
And then
for.
yeah, it's usually something bad, but that's just my opinion on it because again, we believe in it. We
Well,
believe
and
in the
again,
Lord, Jesus Christ.
yes, he's our Lord, Savior, and all that. That was the first Spooktober story. I mean, it opened our eyes, and a lot of you. I mean, it's a good laugh now. We kind of laugh at it sometimes, but we're not mocking it. It's just something
No.
that we experienced. We're like, that was kind of stupid that we didn't ask. Like, oh wait, what are you praying to?
Because that's something that you just we don't really talk about.
No, it's just something.
And
And
some
again,
people,
and it's
yes.
very scary now because I've been seeing so many people on social media that are now praising the Lord, and they've never had a spiritual foundation.
Nothing.
So now it makes me wonder,
What were you taught in your household?
what were you willing to do is what I'm saying. Like, what trades? Because, that's the thing too, Jesus Christ is a process if you didn't know that. You can just say thank you and then pray yourself to God to watch. Yes, I agree. Yep, rebuke. That's how you got to
Yeah.
rebuke. We rebuke,
Yeah.
got to rebuke in the name of Jesus Christ. And to some people that sounds weird, but those of you who, once you start to really give yourself to the
Because
Lord.
the time is coming, dude. I mean,
It is. It's very,
coming if
yeah.
you don't know this.
And I know this sounds
It sounds weird,
like,
it's not, but it's only weird
It
because
sounds like tweaker talk.
Ah,
Right? I'm
shut
gonna be
up.
honest. It does. Like when you've met tweakers or ex-tweakers and they want to be
No,
like,
we've never
I'm
been.
not trying to
No,
save
no, no,
anyone.
no.
I'm just saying these are things we've experienced.
there's some who are fucking
Hey, how's it
fakes.
going, Ryan?
Hi.
Like,
There's-
you know what I mean? Doesn't it? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
what I'm
the
talking about.
fucking rehab shit. Like
Yeah.
people
It's
that
the same thing.
there's nothing wrong with it, right? It's just what you believe in. But I mean,
But again, because
I've
seeing
seen a lot of
it so
fakes
much,
though that
yeah.
have come from that are like, oh, but I'm not saying all.
And they're
right?
gonna be a lot.
And I just say the time is now. What do you say? I say
This is the same thing.
I just say the time is now. Like you're gonna fucking choose good or bad
Yeah.
because I've been seeing that trend with a lot of like rappers and
Oh, yeah. Well,
Chicano
look at all
rappers.
the- yeah.
Que dicen that they have like certain logos que dicen good versus evil.
Yeah.
You ain't no in between, motherfucker. It's
Yeah.
either one or the other. So
which one are
I
you?
don't like your
Yeah.
music anymore because I know you're struggling
Well, and
with
then you gotta be careful
spiritually.
because a lot of these guys too, they're talking about manifestation and stuff. These are things that yes, they are in the Bible. However, I don't think they apply to this world, the world we're in now.
That's just
Because
our-
again, from what I've seen, from what I've been around, many people we just
Ryan.
purple in your hair, like Lady Elinda. Oh,
Yeah,
nice, yeah.
yeah.
Hey, man, thank you.
Thank you.
Wait, Lydia, that's not Lily. No, Lily's a scary one.
I don't know.
I can't remember.
look
I'm
at
sorry again. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're talking about today.
The
And
time is now.
the
You're
time
gonna
is-
choose. Are you with us or not? I mean, there's people who, like I said, you know,
Right.
people that, yeah, anyway, we're going to...
No, it's okay. Just say
Okay,
it's
like
funny.
people, right? Like we've said in other videos, what we believe in, as in, hey, if you don't like her, then you don't like me. If you don't like me, you don't like her, or vice versa. That's how it should be. If there's someone that hangs out with you, or whatever, family or whatnot, they don't like a certain person, you shouldn't like them either.
Yeah.
Even if they've never done anything personal, you just shouldn't be like that.
It shouldn't.
That's why I said you need to choose now, good, bad, all that, because that shit's happening. It really is.
It really is. I mean, there's a lot of
time
things coming,
is coming. I don't know what, but like I
I
said,
don't know either, but
that's what I'm saying. 'cause
But
there's
it's-
so much
yeah.
shit going on.
But again, and the reason we're talking about it because I keep seeing it. I'm seeing it in different places. I'm seeing it, you know, whatever pops up for you and whatnot. And
How are you both tonight? Oh, we're
oh, we're
doing
well. No, I'm not doing
yeah,
well.
we're
I'll be
not.
honest
We're
with you. I'm
we're
not doing well because again, you know, life is hard, and again, we're always going to be tested, and you know, again, all we could do is just live one day at a time. So thank you for asking, though. I
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
And that's the thing too. You need to check in with people now too.
Yes.
It's a good idea to check in with people, and you know, I don't know about you, Ryan, but when I ask someone, like we've always said that we're going to keep saying that, we're going to keep pressing it until you know people get a good understanding. So we're the type of people. If I ask you how you're doing, it's because I'm genuinely asking, how are you doing? Like, and I mean that in everywhere, like in any way,
Yes.
right? Your mental, your physical, everything. But there are people I hate that when you
Sorry,
ask
here,
them.
such a news.
Oh, it's okay.
Oh, thank you.
Oh,
No,
thank
what do
you.
you
Yeah, what do you pray to? We were just talking about that, but I'm just kidding. I'm just joking. But either way, though, thank you for that. However, though, I'm really lost what I was saying.
With seeing it trending,
With
right?
seeing it trending, yeah.
The time is now.
With seeing it trending,
We talked about the spiritual awakening that we
And
had
again, oh yeah,
3
that's
years
what it
ago.
was. That's what it was. That's what it was.
Yeah. But
About people asking how you are, because I hate that. I hate that when people ask you how are you doing, and then you start like opening up just a little. I never do too much, and some people get really like, whoa,
Like, whoa.
you're giving me a whole like diet. What
I
do
was
you
like, well,
say
fuck you.
that?
Why did you ask?
You give me a whole
They're
essay.
like, because it's just conversation. I will to you.
Oh, well, thanks so much. Okay, that was a little weird, but okay.
Yeah. To each
I've had it
its
for a
own.
long time.
Yeah, she did.
It
since
was
she was
blessed,
13.
too, so.
That's it. She's been. So I don't get
Hey, the
yeah.
priest forgave me for it, so I think I'm good. Because I had it when I made my first communion.
Yeah.
I made my first communion hella late. I was 13.
I was 10.
Yeah, so we pray every single day. From the time you wake up to the time you go in. That's the thing, you know. People get... I like what you're asking, Ruben. I really do. Because I've noticed that. Again, these are things I'm seeing trending, right? And we've always been like that. It's very...
People have always questioned us for some reason. He said good. People have always questioned us, and they're like, "You guys believe in God? You guys have the Lord in your life?" Yes, I do. And regardless of our situations that we've been
Regardless
homeless,
of the way we
doesn't matter
talk.
of our physical appearance, tattoos or
Yes.
colored hair. They're like, "Oh, are you guys gay?" No. Anyways, we're sisters, but we're not.
You're so
gay. We're
stuck
not-
on that
Well, we're not
shit.
gay. We're sisters.
so stuck on
Anyways,
that.
like I said, people are always questioning us about our faith. And it gets kind of annoying after a while.
It does.
You know, they ask this type of question, but hey, it's all good.
Oh, nice, Fume. Oh, you're
Oh,
ready to
nice.
go then, Fume.
And yeah, no going back on either on your choice either.
Yeah, hey, remember, you know, that's the thing I want to talk about too. So I'm seeing everyone, right, talking about baptism and stuff. You can only be baptized once. It doesn't matter what denomination it is, you can only be baptized
Hello.
once. Hey, how's it going,
Why
Clayton?
has, God betrayed me.
Okay, see,
Lisa
that's the thing.
Clayton.
He doesn't betray. It's a process. It's a
Wait, we're talking
process.
about Jesus
Are
Christ?
you talking about, yeah. Good thing. Good question. Clayton, are you still there? If you want to answer that, if she asks you, are you talking about God as in Jesus Christ, or what are we talking about here? Because we're talking about, no, God does not hate anyone.
No, God doesn't hate anybody, and God doesn't punish either.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You can get married in the Catholic Church. I see. I never got married to church. I think maybe I don't know if I do Catholic though anymore. I really don't.
There's
a
certain
lot of
things that
I
they,
don't agree with. But it's a beautiful thing. I mean, it is a beautiful thing. I would like to get married, and if I get married again, it probably would be.
But back to Clayton, he
But
says
Clayton,
that God doesn't hate you, because I know people, there's tragedies, awful things that happen to people.
There is only one person who deserves the right to judge us. I mean, it's literally called exactly.
Yes, it is, and
It
I've
is.
actually lived judgment
And
day.
again, maybe we sound like sinners or
God
whatever.
has made me get hurt by 1,000 lashes and 7,000 bruises.
Hey, you know what though? He's a man of process. He's a man of process, and I can't give you all the answers. You know, you gotta seek in that, and you gotta.
Again, I
truly
believe all the evil and ugly here on this physical world, it doesn't exist, but it does because you go through it. But it's supposed to look ugly here on earth.
Oh, hey, Turtle Dog. Thank you so much.
Hi.
You have a great night as well.
But you believe in the eternal life. That's
Oh,
all
yeah.
like.
And that's again, these are things maybe you guys have never heard of it, and that's okay. That's okay.
Maybe I'm not explaining it correctly because I
and
don't do
again-
no scriptures.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
going like, but I have the Lord in my life. I feel Him here,
Oh,
here.
yeah.
I know it. Why does someone who loves you?
I don't think they drag you back. I think you got to remember sometimes we make mistakes that we don't even, we fall into temptations that we don't even realize it sometimes. I really do believe that.
Yeah, it is the temptation because the other,
and you got
side
to
of us-
remember, they were both friends at one time.
Remember that.
The enemy and Jesus Christ were friends at one time.
Homie to homie.
And homie to homie, right? And then the other one got really jealous and couldn't take it. Kind of like what I see now in these YouTube things, where it kind of freaks me out. Now we're going into something else, but let's just be real with it. Okay, now we're really talking. I like this stuff. Yeah, exactly. I like that feel. Let's talk about that. Okay, a lot of these channels that I'm seeing, and now you guys know what channels I'm talking about because you guys follow the channels that I'm talking about. A lot of them want to talk about they're changed people, right? They're living for the Lord and stuff. And I'm not judging them. Please don't take it wrong. I'm just saying, again,
What's your opinion? It's a fucking judgment.
Homie
I
to
guess,
homie, right? Because I've heard a couple of guys that are like, yeah, man, and they were really getting on and they were preaching it. And I was like, all right, cool, okay, I'm getting convinced. But then a couple of them had some incidents happen recently, and then what were they? They were talking about like they lost their faith.
Yeah,
and they were talking about
again, like, I'm kind of going in the same, kind of like spiral, downward spiral.
Yes.
Again, when you're losing your faith, going through different situations is terrible. And the way you feel like, hey, why did God do this? Or why did I have to be born like this? Or why did my kid have to come out like this? Or whatever, why did I go through that and this and that? I can only speak from my own experience about what I went through with the spiritual awakening. Like it was my test 3 years ago, like for good. Like you're either with it or you're not. You're with me or you're with whatever else. And you have to make the decision. And it doesn't mean that you can't continue to like cuss or you know how people like want to throw stuff in there like that, like you have to be this 100% perfect whatever.
I don't, it doesn't come like that, at least for us.
At least for us.
Because
I know everybody, I can't speak for everybody. Everybody has their own spiritual awakenings or their experiences. They call it spiritual whatever. I don't know, some people I don't really believe, and I know people don't believe me either. Only a few people know about our spiritual awakening, not many, because it's not something to talk about really.
It's only it's meant to talk to those who deserve to hear it, who need to hear it,
or who even like if it sticks with them and they can relate.
Les tiene
que tocar meaning in English.
It's meant for you.
Yes,
it's meant for you.
Yes. So again, it's not about fucking around either, like just this bullshit.
But again, so these are things that we've been wanting to like kind of talk about.
So you were continuing about the stuff you're saying about people changing.
Yeah, about changing and stuff like that. And so then it makes me wonder, okay, so these guys, like, and I don't know. See, and that's where I get a little lost too, because I'm still stuck in the old ways, right? Like the 10 Commandments. Have any of you guys ever seen that movie, The 10 Commandments, Charlton Heston?
I grew up watching it.
I mean, we'd watch that movie every Easter. And so, there's a lot that goes on in that movie.
The scene that always stayed with me was towards the end where everyone's like doing these dances. The ladies are all like exotic.
They're all sinning,
and everyone's doing all that. There's like hella good food and shit everywhere.
Yes, it's just like
music
everything.
and fire.
Gluttony. What do they call it? Gluttony. And
it's appealing. It's like, oh, that looks cool. That looks fun.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I know what that means now. I understand it. That's temptation. That's mañas, like cosas all that.
All that stuff.
I mean, maybe it doesn't sound.
I don't know, but that's why it's just interesting to me though. Like the 10 Commandments, like that's where I would like to see, I guess.
Charles Heston, man.
Shut up! I'm turning into him, dude. Look at this.
It wasn't like that. I swear.
I've been stressing out, and I've been really like because I've been going through some stuff, man. Some like major trials, and it's like, dude, no, for real. Like, you know how they say that about like you turn gray when the Lord touches you. Like, I'm not playing, guys. I know that sounds weird.
We've aged this last 3 years. Hella. I mean, you see it.
Like Hindus and I'm not too familiar with that. Right? You have to get back to me with that. But yeah, so these are just things. Again, these are just comments, and they're great topics because I just feel like they're the need to be talking about.
Yeah, and I don't feel like we're not Bible thumping anyone.
No, because I don't do that. Like my dad was really good at that. He could tell you everything. But on my live the other day, I talked about losing my dog. I'm so sorry. My dad being physically abusive. My son losing his mom. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Me dying. You never told us about you dying twice.
Yeah, you didn't get into it.
Then I had to tell. I had 2 people. And you know what? I really believe that, Fume. I think it's not meant for everyone.
Not for everybody.
It's not.
And
those of you that don't understand, and what I mean by they don't understand is like they might laugh at it.
They're gonna make jokes about it. They're gonna be like, "Oh, why are you talking weird?"
Or what do you want? You want a prize or you want a cookie?
You'll see it like when people start telling you like negative shit. It's because it's like the demon. You're awakening.
Again, anytime these are things that we've always known growing up, right? Yeah. Anytime you're talking about the Lord or you're praising the Lord, time, it like stands still.
Yeah,
It does, like, you forget about the time, right? You forget what time flies. Not only that, you always have the people that are not there, and they have something to say, and they always have something negative to say.
Like a distraction. or
Distraction,
something.
yes. Wow, Fumes. Yeah, we'd like to. I'm gonna have to check out your live and check out your story, Fume. I'd like to know about it. That's man, resilience, man, resilience. And again, you know, I don't know. I don't really know if I believe that whole right. God's strongest warriors go through the toughest battles. I'm not too sure about that one. I'm not too sure about that. And again, you gotta remember,
was
the Bible
written
was written by man. So that's where I'm.
A lot
kind
of different
little,
things were thrown in there.
I would say anybody who would like to know more about the Lord and stuff. Yeah, the Bible's good, but I really like growing up, we really liked, my dad was really into Shepherd's Chapel. You can still find Shepherd's Chapel. The pastor, he just died recently, but he would really go into explain all the stuff of like things and how they would pertain and the translation with certain terms and things like that. I don't really like to do all that. Yeah, I just don't. I feel like we should live a daily life now, and let's put like the basics, right? Ten Commandments, basics, right? God above everything.
Yeah.
You know, honor your mother and father, regardless of, you know, my parents were not
whether
perfect
your
either.
relationship with them, and again, forgiveness also, like, you know, I mean, I know people go through abuse and essay abuse and all that.
Kinds of stuff. Just things,
terrible things like that, again, but it's up to you, again, how to, if you want to move forward, continuing to hurting people, either whatever ways it is, or being malicious in any way, then there's, you kind of, you know. I would say, like, in my experience,
quiet and listening, everyone felt the pain we all went through. It was deep, and I'm glad I was, hey, you know what? That's great. That's great, because that's gonna help you heal too, you know?
Not everyone's gonna be listening, or, you know, you're gonna notice that the people are coming in and out, they don't want to hear that.
And that's fine. It's not for them. It's not for them.
I mean, I would say I used to be like that,
Turn time.
hearing people like say, you know, when they're giving like testimonies, because again, remember, like, how you said, it sounded like tweaker shit. So,
not
always, but you kind of know.
But for those that aren't ready yet, to them it might be like, oh my God, this is.
It might be scary because you're shining too bright.
Right.
And remember, everything comes out of the light of the dark.
Yeah,
you know.
that's right.
So you see
Hides in
those,
the dark,
you're like,
hides
oh,
in
and then
the
you're
dark.
like, oh, okay, I get where you're coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's good. You know, it's good to learn. And again, you guys can do whatever you want, but those are the people you stay away from. Doesn't matter if you know them forever. It doesn't matter
if you like. That's just what I'm saying. Yeah, you stay away.
Yeah.
In any way, I don't watch their content anymore. I don't support it. If like that's, like, I'm just saying, like, if that's social media, if you're whatever. I mean, everything's on social media now.
Yeah.
However, like, I really do believe, like, people that continue to, you know, with their drinking problems or their drug problem, I really believe it's because they've really lost their souls, like, or they're in between, and they're just like, and then they continue. The ones que they're just lost, los que son como zombies y ya están all out. Yeah,
I know that sounds horrible.
It's very controversial.
It's very sensitive. It's very sensitive. I don't think you can come back from that. I don't think you can. You know, you got to remember, the devil's a liar, and you know, there's so many people. I could tell you some stories, and I'm not ready for that yet. But where it's like it's
like I would say, I was in a time in my 20s. I had I got really into drinking. I was never a drinker. I was I would say a good kid, average student, all that. But I never drank or did any like sexual things, you know, as a teenager, nothing. And so as an adult in my 20s, I was continuously going to bar hopping. The drinking, that wasn't me. I just never, I don't know why I was trying to be like a party girl, I guess, because at the time it just seemed like that was something to be, like a party girl, being accepted. And then it wasn't until I stopped when I was around, like, when we became homeless. And then after that, with the, you know, I just got to see a lot of things where I'm like, this is that temptation, and it's because it wasn't me, and it just stopped. I didn't need it. I felt like, why am I doing this, right? But then with my spiritual awakening 3 years ago, definitely right there, everything stopped. All those vicios, all those, what would you call that?
I guess you would say, those
like
temptations.
that appetite for, what is that called? Like, I didn't need it. And I'm like, this whole time I've been doing this because I believe I was going to the other side.
People tend to tell me things they normally don't tell others. I've been told because of my vibe, and they feel I'm non-judgmental and that I genuinely listen to people. Hey, you know what? That's great. That's a great trait. You don't ever change, because, you know, most people are...
Even if people are like, why are you so quiet?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, you're so quiet.
Great. And that's the thing, you know, there's not too many people who listen now.
No,
There's not.
it's like going in one.
Oh yeah,
and then-
me too. Let me tell you about
Yeah.
a time, and that's the worst. That's the
When
worst.
someone's always doing that, right? You're telling your stuff. Oh, I went through the same thing. I know what you're
or
going
they
through.
want to like 10 times up it.
Well, I
keep
went
up.
through this, and I did this, and I did that, and I had this, and I beat this, and I beat that.
Right.
It's like, okay, but like I'm
Yes.
saying, I think
My light died.
again. The
Damn.
light went out.
Ah.
The light went out.
Dang
we know
it.
why.
Yeah, we know
But like
why.
I said, with that, I didn't have any intentions in drinking anymore because it just didn't make sense. I was like, yeah, I would drink every day, weekends, and I wasn't a drinker. And then I got really sloppy. It was really bad. But I never
And I
checked.
would say mine was-
I wouldn't say I was a drunk like that because like a functioning drunk. Definitely not. Definitely not because I didn't do that. But some people do, and I believe like, hey, but I'm telling you, when you don't need any substance,
Yeah.
I know people are like, that's like really hard. Blah, blah.
No, but I do truly
I think it
believe
goes into
when
something
you're
deeper.
truly healed, and you say, you know, you've given your life to Christ, you don't need any of that stuff.
Yeah.
But that's just our opinion.
And it's your
again.
opinion. I mean, yeah, I've had a couple of drinks here and there in those last 3 years, like I would say like a shot of tequila, but not where it's. I feel like
Or you're being like
where I
fruity
don't
with it
feel
and
like
you're just-
yeah, maybe one beer if it was offered at a party because hey, I'm not going to be rude, you know, certain things. But I don't get that same
Temptation.
that same high off of
Yeah.
it. Like no, nothing like that. And it's not like oh, like before. Because I believe it's different because now I know the
Well, and
truth.
again, what do you want to feed your soul with? Let's just be real about that.
Yeah.
You want
And again, I believe the substances and alcohol it definitely opens different
Oh,
realms
yeah.
and different energies.
definitely.
And it's like the method. I understand. Like
Yeah.
that's exactly why people are.
Well,
the way
that's
they
a
are.
scary story. Remember that time we got drunk and then we were playing around with the gun?
Yeah, we were being
Yeah. So
stupid.
yeah, that
We were adults already.
Yeah.
And yeah, and
so we got a
later.
habit of drinking every day after work, and we were drinking, and we started talking like about some really serious subjects, you know, stuff about just sensitive, serious stuff, and we were both really drunk, and I had the gun, and we were just fucking around with it, and she's like pointing it at
It
my
was
head,
loaded.
and I was pointing it at her head, and it was just, it was.
We're being fucking idiots, but
I remember bits and pieces because I was, you know, we were really drunk, but the next day, man, my poor mom, I feel bad now because you know she's the one who ended up like coming out there and seeing us be stupid or whatever. And my dad, he got it at the time. He's like, "Yeah, bitches, you ain't drinking no more like that. I'll be doing that."
and
shit."
again, it was just alcohol, and it's like what,
But
like
you know, so again, I believe that's there's a lot of things a lot of different energies and stuff.
Yeah.
That get open. I wish people would talk about that more, but nobody likes to talk.
no, they
about
don't, they
that.
don't.
And that's why I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need that. I don't need it. I haven't,
Yeah.
you know, again, just what, the other month because I want to try the tequila, but I had a shot and that was
But
it.
it's not the same
Yeah, it's not-
satisfaction. It's not
no.
that where you're like, yeah, I want to. Let me call so and so and let's like get this going and let's keep drinking and having a good. It's not the same. I don't feel like the same. It just doesn't. It's not like I don't need. I don't need it. But I think because of everyone has their own spiritual awakenings and the truth. So a lot of unanswered questions were answered
Yeah.
for me in 2020.
yeah.
And again, that's a whole other.
That's definitely not for everyone.
Yeah,
That's definitely not for
only
everyone.
she knows it, and
Well, I lived it too. You know, I
she
had my
lived it.
test
She
too.
knows it. She saw the things we saw, and only one other person knows about it, and that's it. But that's what I'm saying. Like it's just
So
these
going back
topics
to again what we talked about and all this stuff. Let's see
yes.
something. I thought I just saw smoke. That was weird. But anyways, so yeah, these are just things and that I've been seeing. And let's go back to the beginning again about the GoFundMe's and stuff like that. It makes sense why some things too. Remember, God is a process. Let's just leave it at that tonight. God is a process. Things don't happen. Yes, He does make miracles, but they don't happen overnight with the
No.
quickness like other things do. And that's a creepy story. You want to talk about that
Sure.
one? So I met again, doing hair, you meet all kinds of different people. So I had met this family, and I never knew what that thing was. I'm not going to say the name because I don't believe in that.
It's like a
So
Grim Reaper, but it's white.
It's the thing, yes. It's very popular in Mexican culture, and they do altars, and what I've been told from the people that do worship that is that you have to make a promise every day and you have to keep it up.
You have to be consistent.
Whether it's cigarettes, whether it's alcohol, whether it's money, and you have to put it on the altar every day. And that supposedly it'll give you whatever you want, your best, biggest
Yeah.
desires. Okay? So I met this family. I used to do their hair.
I never heard of that growing up.
No, I never
Never.
did. I never did. And so I met this family. I used to do their hair. They're a big family, and they had everything you could think of, like beautiful stuff,
Jewelry, cars,
fancy
detailed cars with
businesses,
all
just
that.
anything you
But
could.
with
your
that,
heart
with
could
that
desire.
logo or
Yes,
whatever,
everywhere,
on
everywhere,
everything
everywhere.
they own.
And so I didn't know what it was. So I asked her, I asked her open-heartedly, like, hey, if you don't mind me asking, what is that? So then she's like, kind of looked at me, laughed. And she's like, you don't know what it is? I'm like, no, I don't. And I'm like, oh. So then she explained to me, kind of just a little bit briefly, whatever. And I'm like, oh, okay. Oh, all right. Well, that's you, I guess. But then a few years went by, and one of the family members got really sick, almost to the point where they lost her life. And I didn't think anything of it, right? Just things happen. And it wasn't until one day I saw the mom, and the mom started telling me. I don't even know how it came up, to be honest. Oh, I think it's because my son was sick. My son was sick during that time, and we got to talking,
And the temptation of mom tracking too.
oh, we're not gonna go there. We'll talk about that later. But anyway, so we start talking, right? I start telling her like, yeah, my son, blah 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 blah. And then that's when she told me, yeah, we're all just Jesus Christ, man, Jesus Christ, our Savior, and we don't do that stuff anymore. And and I'm like, well, what happened? So she says, and this is her story, and I don't know how true it is, right? That the family member couldn't keep up a promise, whatever it was, and it came for them supposedly, and they lost everything, and that they saw some very creepy things, very horrible things. So,
and that one family member is dead.
Yeah, I ended up passing
We don't
away.
know what happened, but
I don't know because I
recently,
haven't seen them.
or I
I
don't know how.
haven't seen them in years, but
They're no longer here.
so there's a lot of things. Again, just we'll leave it at that.
And
God
again,
is a process.
Yeah. And again, respect to whatever everyone believes in. We don't question like.
But we've seen some very
Yeah.
interesting things because again, I love the music, right? I've always been a fan of like now, not no more. But I used to have dreams, right, of being like this big star and like exposure, fame, everything, right? And
we even had
when-
encounters
yes,
with
yes.
famous musicians in the Mexican music industry.
Yes.
Things that you're like, that would never happen,
Yes.
right? Because like, oh, I just sent a DM on Instagram. Oh,
Yes.
it was answered.
Yes.
Why do you think?
because it's that temptation.
Why do you
right?
think?
It's
certain
that.
things like that?
Those are the things
Like
that I'm
magic,
talking about.
right?
Like where they say, right, where you sell your soul. That's what.
And again, I believe in things like that we've encountered.
Yeah.
Because it's like, how bad do you want it,
Yeah,
Evelyn?
right,
How bad do you want to be in
right.
the music? And then it's like,
And you,
yeah.
it's like.
Mine, it's
I
like,
don't know what it is.
I
but
don't
I don't know. Yours is like long hair, good hair.
no, what else?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because like when you lost your hair.
yeah, that was another story. I didn't tell that story yet, but anyways,
Oh, we can get into that. if you
yeah.
want.
No, when?
That's a creepy story if you want.
Oh, we could finish what you were saying.
But that was it. So that's what I'm saying. So just let's leave it at that tonight. Jesus Christ is a process. The process.
How you wanted to do the music and todo.
Yeah. So we've seen many things happen because, like they say, right? It reminds me of some of the things we've experienced in our life. Reminds me of Ghost Rider. You guys ever seen Ghost Rider, where he wants the dad to live, right? And the Ghost Rider guy comes and he's like, "Yeah, I want this and whatever." And that's what I'm saying. That's kind of remember he makes the deal.
You know,
whatever.
why do you think some of these movies are made? Because somewhere this shit
Somebody
exists
went
somewhere.
through something.
That's what I'm saying.
But yeah, guys. So thank you again. So that, we're gonna leave it at that. But then if you want to tell your funny, creepy story, and then we can go if you want.
Well, does it pertain to the whatever?
Yeah, we
Well,
don't really
again,
know. I mean,
again,
people and
so
hair. Hair's another
again, so
one.
hair, we believe hair really
We don't
does-
believe it.
We don't.
We've been
Yeah,
told.
we've been told, but
That-
also I think I've been seeing stuff like that. When people make promises, is it with
Not
Mexican
always.
culture usually sometimes?
No, there's different cultures.
Well, they cut their hair off, right? Like, okay.
a lot of
women.
people believe that there's like magic and
Yeah.
a lot of energy in your hair.
So if you cut it off and you make a promise and you go do whatever, I don't know what they
I don't know exactly why.
But anyways, good things come or whatever they did.
Okay, we read that one.
Hi.
Hi, how's it going, Random Queen?
And growing up, you've been told mal de ojo. I have two cousins that work in.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. What is that called? Mal de ojo?
I don't know if it's mal de ojo or
It's
just
called
mal-
like the evil eye or what?
I don't know, something.
You know,
like
growing
that.
up, you hear people say that saying.
Just gets the point.
If you look at a cute baby, touch the baby because the
Yeah,
baby
yeah.
will have whatever.
It's like super
So, anyways, a lot of ladies at the time, and like when I was 24, I had really long blonde hair because I was obsessed with bleaching it, and a lot of these Mexican women, all the time, they're like, "Why? ¿Por qué te pintas el pelo rubio? Si tú eres blah blah blah."
Why do you
And I'm
have hair
like,
blonde?
"Oh well, because this and that, I'm hairstyle, whatever." Anyways, so a lot of them kept just like, "Why? But why?" And then I went to touch up my hair one day because she was doing my roots, and I went to go rinse it off, all the bleach, and next thing you know, like I started feeling like chunks and then it just kept coming off. It was like something you see in a movie, like
Where they lose their hair.
something crazy in the movie where it's just creepy, right?
No, I cannot. Sorry.
What?
Nice try. Go on.
And again, it just nonstop, pedazos, pieces. So when I was feeling like spiky stuff up here, I'm like, oh my gosh. So when I was done, I came out of the shower and I was just left with like strands. I had a mohawk of, like, if I shaved my head up here, all my sides, everything came off except for like one strand here, a couple in the back.
Yeah.
And I could get away with it and make it look like my hair was full. So I would cover it with
nice.
with a pin right here. And again, the people that were telling me this about, oh, ¿por qué? Why do you bleach your hair? Those women, again, they never touched my hair, you know, and that whole saying is like, oh, touch it. When you see someone that has nice hair, touch it, because, or whatever, right?
That's what the superstition is.
And so, and when I found out those ladies, anyways,
Hey, Crescent, how's it going?
those ladies believed in other things.
Yeah.
And so
They practice other
I
things.
believe it was just like out of I wouldn't even say jealousy, envy. It was just like people are just like that, I guess, and they don't.
They want to wish you again. Be careful what.
And when I didn't have any
that
hair anymore, you know, that's when, because I used to really be all about my hair before, like, oh, I'm gonna curl it, it's gotta be perfect. And then that really humbled me with that experience, because I thought about people who actually do lose their hair, like who have cancer or go through illnesses. I'm like, that's terrible. So I'm like, yeah, but you know what, hair, it ain't a big thing. It grew back. So many people are so stuck on the hair, like, oh, you're gonna look ugly, you're gonna this. But I had a short ass hair where it was spiky like a man's haircut, and I rocked it. It grew out, and I continued to bleach it, and you know. So I just with that story was just that I just felt like, hey, you know what? It's not a big deal if my hair is not on point.
But then when you had your awakening,
when I had my
we had
awakening,
some questions answered.
I did have some questions answered, and a lot of things were answered about my
Certain
suspicions
people
about
that-
certain people. Those same ladies that were telling me about my hair, in the answers I had gotten, yeah, they were wishing really bad things on me. And I didn't go to no psychic about this. No, this is a spiritual awakening that happened in 2020 to me, and then she witnessed it and saw the shit I saw, and only one other person knows this about us, what happened with us. But we're not here to preach to anybody or make people.
But again,
yeah.
because we saw so many things happening. I've been seeing them happen, talking about or whatever. I'm
And
like,
it goes in with what you were
and I
talking
do
about.
I feel like everything has its time, and I talk about that. And again, depending on who needs to hear it, they're gonna stay here, and who doesn't, then they're gonna, make a joke of it or whatever.
Yeah, and it goes into talking about how you said about certain channels you saw that are talking about.
Yeah,
Again,
yeah.
some people also, due to like our opinions and all that, the
Yeah,
stuff we talk about, a lot of people are like, you ladies aren't with the Lord because you have those opinions, and it doesn't mean that
You
we're
have
hateful
black
people.
hearts, like,
but I've
no.
seen people who put on this good show that they're good girls. They're oh, I go to church, I'm this and that, and you see them on these channels too. And it's like, oh, hey, homeboy, all that shit, and they're not. I see what I see.
Yeah.
It's
The
just
times
it's
I
like
have saw people
In the interaction.
giving like a testimony, so it's kind of like they're bored out of their brains.
Well,
and
someone you
they're
notice
just flirting
it.
with someone else, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, whatever. That's just this.
And then also the ones that think that because they know all the scriptures of the Bible, that they're like, that they're better than you, or that they're really with God. And I don't believe that's
I don't know.
true.
It's just our opinion.
That's just our
again.
opinion.
But I do believe that, and it's not a debate. It's not anything like
No.
that. But it's just like, oh, okay. Well,
But we don't ever really talk about,
No.
faith, like, about
Faith,
God.
yeah,
well,
we do,
faith,
we do.
but we don't really get into about our beliefs in God, like in any videos, because again, people don't.
A lot of people aren't ready for
They
that.
want to tune in because like we don't have a church
Yeah.
and we're not pastors, and
Right,
of
right,
course,
right,
right?
right,
And people
right.
just like, yeah. But now is the
Why do you
time.
have purple hair?
Now is the time to talk about Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Not be afraid of it, and if
Well, you shouldn't be afraid
You
of it.
shouldn't, but some people are. Since it's trending so much on social media, that's why I'm going to talk about it. And we've been talking about it because it's trending. People with churches who are pastors, putting on this show, and people are like, oh,
It's not that we're calling them out.
No,
or
we're not,
anything
we're
like
not.
that, but it's just these are our observations. Where
it's always been.
Where it's like, okay, again, I churches, right? Like that's where I get rubbed the wrong way, because like they have these churches. Hey, how's it going? They have
Hi.
these churches, but where is the positive out of it? They're gaining funds, whatever,
Yeah.
but where is it getting distributed?
Like you're doing what like what do they do? You mean
I
like
don't know. That's kind of where I get like, I feel like it's kind of like a pyramid scam.
yeah.
Like, all right, well, what are the, well, I guess, I mean, the people are lost in, like, they're getting taken care of
Yeah.
emotionally, but the other person, I don't know. It's just my opinion.
But going back to what we've been talking about.
Yeah.
So the beginning of this video, if you've made it this far, if you're barely
Yes.
watching, you can rewind this. And we started off
We started off talking about, thank God that the little girl, what was her name?
Charlotte Senna from New York
those-
that went, she was abducted at some state park
yes.
in New York.
They
She's 9
found
years
her.
old.
She's alive.
Yeah,
Thank God.
they found her on Monday.
The man they found her with, though, has disgusting charges.
Something like that, yeah.
And she was found in a cabinet. He put up a fight, but the cops took him down. So thank God she's home. Her aunt is making a GoFundMe because they're trying to collect some funds so that, for whatever reason,
Yeah.
I don't care. It doesn't matter. And a lot of people, we did a video on TikTok because it's going on TikTok where people are upset about this GoFundMe that they want to do for the little girl and her family.
Yeah, that's what
and
we
people are rubbed the
brought
wrong
this
way.
up.
And I'm like, I don't understand why people get rubbed the wrong way. We should be celebrating that the little girl's alive. That family, we should, as people, as human beings, what separates us from humans and animals is that we're supposed to have empathy upon each other, right? And where's the empathy? Why don't we embrace this family as a community, get them what they need so they can get the help that they need so that they can be home or
Yeah.
whatever it is. I don't know.
And
but
we talked about
Yes.
how people are so quick to donate to deaths, like
Yes.
funerals,
Yes.
fancy funerals, all that. Why is it?
that's just always been my
Because you
question.
should, donating when that person was alive and
Yes.
say they needed gas money and you
Right,
couldn't help out
right.
or
Or you chose
whatnot,
not to,
right?
right?
And again, already in comments on TikTok, some people have already told us, hey,
No, that's not
sudden
unfair.
deaths
That's not
and
fair.
yeah, but
Yeah.
that's why you have money
But you
saved,
should
right?
have
You should have
something
some money
saved,
saved,
right?
And again, no
Because that's
judgment
what
and all
people
that.
are saying about
Yeah.
these GoFundMe
Yeah.
with these people, like the little girl. We did see some comments on
Yeah,
like,
people are being
oh,
horrible
they
saying,
don't have a
like, oh,
savings
look,
or,
they should be
they-
grateful because the girl's alive. Yeah, but that guy probably did disgusting things to
Yeah,
her.
we're not gonna
Again,
talk about that.
just like hellish shit, like let him, with people with the GoFundMe.
Yeah.
Also, like our friend Edgar Ramos, he's having open heart surgery on the 16th of this
right,
month,
right.
and he's only asking for $3,000
Right.
as his goal. And again,
And unfortunately, I don't have it, or else I would
yeah,
have given it to.
but we made a small
But we
donation.
made a small donation, and we're
Um,
hoping that'll encourage others to pay it forward. Just like when you go to Starbucks.
Yeah.
Right. You have your Starbucks.
And it
and
doesn't
people
mean
pay
like
or
you're
whatever.
telling people what to do. No.
No.
But again, people are so quick to donate to
And I guess-
raising money for
But
like
you know
new
what I think
shoes
it
and
is
stuff
too?
like that.
I guess because most people, let's just be real, most people are followers, right?
Yeah.
One does it, the other one jumps on the bandwagon, the other one jumps on the bandwagon, and so that's why we're hoping that something positive will happen. All right, guys, have a great night. God bless you. Thank you so much, and have a good night. And
Follow us on
remember,
TikTok.
God is
if
a
you like.
process.
Yes.
Go.
95 Lucas.
Finish up. Come on.